Welcome, magnificent galactic spirits, oh my goodness, star seeds. Wow, we got it getting off to a rough start, but I've got a lot of really juicy things to share with you today. Where we are in our galactic spirit evolution, we are in the magnificent place of WorldBridger, magnificent ascension, 13-day ascension of living in the gap or the bridge for your egoic freedom and moving from all those crazy voices in your head to a place of conscious presence where joy and happiness lives. And we're going to talk about that in great detail as soon as we finish our few announcements. Of course, during the WorldBridger section, we're going to talk about where we have been on our magnificent Law of Time galactic spirit journey. We just finished the section of Skywalker, and Skywalker, as you know, there's our horizon line, as above, so below. And we're talking about really traveling into the unknown. You know, one of the things we talk about when we're talking about what the ascension looks like, what does fifth dimension look like in multi-dimensions, we really don't have a good understanding of that because we have no precedence. This is the first time in human history where we can actually use the power of our minds, the power of our brains to travel beyond our third dimensional world. And one of the things I've been thinking about teaching in an upcoming class that I kind of want you to mark your calendars for coming this summer, we're going to go step by step on how easy it is to track the energies, and I'm very excited about it. We're going to be talking about the portals of time, where we can actually step into our higher consciousness, and the reason why the law of attraction doesn't work. The reason why the law of attraction doesn't work is because we are not vibrating to higher and higher frequencies. These higher frequencies exist in the gap between where our egoic mind lives and in joyful presence. That's why the ascension that we're talking about today, WorldBridger, is so valuable, and where we're going to talk about what some of those techniques are for you to mine that gap. And as I said, and I really want you to mark your calendars for early midsummer, where we're going to have step-by-step classes on understanding of how each birthright plays a significant role and helps you be the magnet for attracting your desires to bridge the gap why the law of attraction doesn't work. And I'm just going to tell you that right now. Why doesn't work? Because we're still living in our egoic minds. And in living in our egoic minds, we do not have the freedom to, and I'm going to look at you when I say this, to vibrate at the frequency of the universe where our desires are already met. So that is a huge nugget that I just left for you. So do mark your calendars, pay attention, and if you sign up, and when you sign up for galacticspirit.com/spiral-up, not only will you have access to certain aspects of my website, which I'm going to show you a quick little video where you can access all sorts of great stuff for free, you're going to get first notification when that class is. So I really want you to, really sign up for that. So it's free, it doesn't cost anything, you get your superpowers, and you'll be able to know when that class is. So before we get into our lesson of the day, what WorldBridger is all about, and you'll see that over my left shoulder with the 13 days around it. WorldBridger, I'm repeating myself over and over again, so you start making the leap, narrowing the gap between what the images mean, so you can, every time you see that image of WorldBridger, you can lock and load it into your brain and say, hey, I'm letting my ego take control of the situation here. Oh, I'm allowing karma, my old behavioral thoughts, my behavioral ancestral patterns, my behavioral actions take over and move out of conscious presence. So what came first, the chicken or the egg, the image or your thought? It really doesn't matter. The whole idea behind Galactic Spirit is to narrow the gap, be the WorldBridger, again the image on my left hand shoulder, be the WorldBridger between your controlling your unconscious mind and bringing your conscious mind into presence, the place of joy, the place of you being able to bridge worlds between your third dimensional world and fifth dimensional world, to start vibrating to a higher magnetic frequency, to draw whatever it is that you want into your consciousness, keeping in mind, again, repeating myself on purpose because I really want you to get stuff. This is my method of teaching. If I repeat myself, you'll get it multiple times. And really start seeing how easy Galactic Spirit is for you to use as enhancing your birthrights, which will enable you to be the magnetic attractor that you are. So, and how do you do that? With a lot of the free offerings that I'm going to show you right now. That I've got a short little video for you where you can access them all at galacticspirit.com. As a reminder, one of the primary places that we are sharing right now is galacticspirit.com/spiral-up. It is in the notes below. In order for you to get that and get notification of when we are doing these broadcasts for each of the ascensions. Again, we're in WorldBridger right now, and how you'll get first notification for our very exciting class that's coming up. So enjoy the video. Let me get it queued up for you. And this is just 2 minutes where all the free offerings are. And then after we talk about the free offerings, we are going to talk about where we are in WorldBridger and how you can take a look at your shadow side and have that egoic freedom and karmic freedom that we all aspire to, which is going to be able to allow us to stay in conscious presence and be the magnet for our desires. Enjoy the video and all the free offerings. So much exciting things here. The reason why I did the video for you is so you could see at a glance where you can access all of these offerings right now that I'm offering from my heart to yours. And the posts that you're seeing on a daily basis are the pineal beats. There's your galactic calendar. Every day you have the micro birthrights within the ascensions. It's really much simpler than it appears. There's really just two things you have to think about every day. And we'll talk about that as soon as the video's over. I am so excited to be sharing all of these energies with you. It is just so thrilling to me to be able to share all of our galactic spirit energies. And where we are now, I just want to show you that when you sign up for our galacticspirit.com/spiral-up, automatically in your email, you will get the map, which I'm showing you right now, the 13-day spiral up map with every energy that we transcend through and we transition through every 13 days. And right now we are in WorldBridger. WorldBridger is so exciting, and we're going to go over some of how the spiral up works in a second. But right now, I just want to talk to you about what WorldBridger is and what it means. And as I talk to you about your egoic freedom, karmic freedom, getting rid of the voice in your head, external factors making your internal world more valuable than your external world, and something else, and to really start getting to know your shadow self better, I want you to look at the image. Now, the images of the birthrights are so valuable because, as I mentioned before, in previous videos, images existed before language. And the brain sees communication in images. And before we made words, our eyes could see, and that's the development of our consciousness with images. So when you see whatever you around in your environment, that is what locks in your brain as a memory that you can recall. So when we're talking about WorldBridger, think about the key words or the imagery that I'd like to share with you now. So when you have a situation that shows up in your life, I want you to be able to call on WorldBridger, bring the image into your consciousness. And when you do, you'll remember what the WorldBridger means, to be able to quickly flip the narrative in your head into conscious presence, because you've now had the understanding of the line of demarcation. This is a little person here. But the line of demarcation between external forces, your unconscious mind, here's bridging the gap, to being in bliss. Look at that. Look at that powerful image. So what is all this area? It's our behaviors, it's our action, it's our unconsciousness that we are taking advantage of to allow our brains to think. It's the devil on one side of the shoulder as compared to the angel on the other. The devil on the one side is your unconscious mind. You're not good enough. You can't do that. Your self-sabotage, your energies that are saying you are incapable, and whatever that means to you. And what I want you to do in your homework from the next time that we meet, to start looking at that devil on that one shoulder saying, why can't I? Is that a false belief? This is it, kids. This is it, magnificent galactic spirits, stars, seeds, way showers. If you want to step into fifth dimension and to be a magnet for your desires, you must go over this bridge of the WorldBridger birthright from your self-sabotage into a place of conscious presence, because that's where fifth dimension lies. Breathe into that. The devil shoulder. It's your shadow self. It's a place of self-sabotage. In the Galactic Spirit website, in my other book, Color Alchemy, I have a tool, and we'll talk about it in the class that I'm preparing for you this summer. So make sure you sign up, galacticspirit.com/spiral-up, to be able to have first notification of when that happens. But there's a process called the beta scan. B, beta, E, emotion, T, thought, A, action. Beta scan. There's your devil. So the whole idea behind bringing the image of WorldBridger into your consciousness, when you are allowing your behaviors, your emotions, your thoughts, or your actions go on automatic pilot, as compared to you saying, hold the phone, stop, I'm making all this shit up. Where's it coming from? Let me tell you a story. I remember, and this is a perfect example, and it's so silly, but it was my awareness that brought my consciousness forward to show my devil side. My devil side, instead of minding the gap, to be in a place of bliss. And our monkey mind, our shadow selves, our self-sabotaging brain does this to us every time, all the time. Here's the example. I remember walking by someone in a development. I used to live in a development, and I was walking, and this guy passed me so close. And I'm kind of a friendly person. I like to smile, especially if we're living in the same community. And he walked, and I said, hi, how you doing? And I smiled at him, and he walked right by me. So my devil shoulder, my unevolved shoulder, my shoulder of self-sabotage, and my unconscious mind immediately said, oh, this guy doesn't like me. Oh, you make all this stuff up. Oh, and then all of a sudden, boom, I flipped the narrative, and I said to myself, man, what if he can't hear? What if he was in his own little world? What if he was in a meditation? I do walking meditations all the time. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just staying in conscious presence as I take a walk. So who knows what this guy's story was, what was in his mind. And it wasn't really about him. It was about me making stuff up because my unconscious mind went into this behavioral thought and patterns, behaviors. Oh, this guy doesn't like me. My thoughts because of who knows what. And my actions were like, I wanted to get snippy, but why get snippy? That didn't solve any purpose. At least I figured that one out. But it really hurt my feelings. My feelings didn't know. If my feelings knew better, my feelings would say to myself, Jami, be in the gap and bridge the world between your external circumstance, which you don't know the answer to go back to a place of bliss. That's WorldBridger, or one aspect of WorldBridger. And that's all that I want you to have right now. That's the only homework that I want you to do. Start feeling about WorldBridger and you minding the gap between your external world, circumstance that you have no control of, that perhaps you have prejudgment. Where do the prejudgments come from? We don't know. I don't know where they are. Only you know where they are. Sometimes we don't know where they are, but it could be from a past circumstance or we experience some trauma or some ancestral behaviors, or because our mother did it or our father did it or our beloved did it or who knows what. But it's not about that unconscious behavior. It's about us stepping into our freedom, our egoic freedom. Keeping that egoic mind from doing all that chatter all the time that's making stuff up. And if you do have the time and you do take the challenge, go back and see where that behavior or that emotion or that thought or that action came from. Beta scan. Scan your body for behaviors. Scan your mind for emotions or thought or actions. They're all connected. To see where that came from and ultimately say to yourself, wow, that is crazy. How can that be true? How can this guy not like me and smile back at me when he walked by when maybe he didn't hear me? I mean, we can actually see the truth in our behavioral patterns that aren't true. And there's freedom in that, where you can go live your life where we up-level your world-bridging skills so that all of your other birthrights can help you step into a place of wholeness. And in that wholeness is where you become the magnet of not only joy, but you being able to manifest anything that you want in your life. Now, on the screen right here, with the frame around me, hey, there's all these manifestations of your birthrights. And if you just take 2 seconds, let's take 2 seconds right now and go over them. Because when you have all of these birthrights, and we do one every 13 days, those are your 13-day ascensions, and you get really good at flipping the narrative on each one, is when you step into wholeness and you become that magnet of your desires because you have nothing standing in your way. You know, your level of understanding, your level of magnetism is only as good, or your ability to magnetize what you want, your ability to be joyful is only as good as your level of consciousness. It's only as good as your level of, let's walk around the frame here, of your expanded vision. That's the birthright of eagle. Of your divine alignment, that's your birthright of earth. Of your inner child, that's monkey. Of your innate Akash, your Akashic records and exploring the unknown, that was the birthright we just did. Of transformation, which is storm. I'm not going to go over each one, but pay attention to Don't you want to raise your level of consciousness to the place of you being able to enhance your superpower? I'm giving you your superpowers of wholeness, to fulfill your destiny, to expand your heart resonance, to awaken consciousness for abundant success. What WorldBridger also does, if you look in the lower corner, it's a method of self-realization. Looking at your shadow selves, exploring your beta, your behaviors, or your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions, and get to the root of your unconscious behavior to be able to flip the narrative. And how do you do that? With another birthright of free will and being wise enough to see that you're talking to the devil as compared to the angel. Look how all the birthrights interact with each other, and there's 20 of them. And this is what I'm going to be teaching you in a really short little class. It's going to be 3 hours, 1 hour a day. We're going to do it in the summer. So sign up for not only getting your having access to these videos on will at your convenience, just by signing up to galacticspirit.com and all the other free aspects of it, but also being able to get your free map of each of these ascensions, which we're going to go over in 1 second as soon as we finish this concept. All around the perimeter of this frame where I'm talking to you are the birthrights that step up your wholeness, that step up your superpower, so you can be the magnet and have the freedom to level up your consciousness, what your birthrights are, and reclaiming your birthrights. I wrote this down, are portals of higher consciousness. And we are digging deep right now in the 13 days of WorldBridger. So let's take a look at the map that you get for free with WorldBridger when you sign up for Galactic Spirit /sign up. You get a map, and you get one every 13 days in whichever birthright we are in. And I'm just showing you all the birthrights. They are all images. And you get one free every 13 days. And each one of these 13 days is one of those birthrights that adds to your wholeness and the integration between all of them. So here's your free map. And when you start looking at your free map, I want you to see that here's 13 days. I'm just going to go over this briefly with you. There's 13 days that you spiral up your consciousness, that you're practicing cooperation with your shadow side and ego freedom. You see, I just highlighted it there with my mouse. Using the WorldBridger image and the concept of WorldBridger that we just talked about, egoic freedom, softening the voice in your head, breaking the gaps. I'm just going to give you this image. Making the gap smaller between your egoic mind, shifting yourself into conscious presence, again, which is one of the birthrights that we are stepping into. Two, I love this image, where you can move up your consciousness. This image is just showing you that you can actually ascend your consciousness with every single birthright, and WorldBridger is a great helper because it is helping you move past your preconditioned mind with your behaviors, with your behaviors, with your emotions, with your thoughts, with your actions, flicking the devil off your shoulder, minding the gap with the image to discover, to deepen and explore, integrate, and master your ability to do this. So the 13 days, you actually have a workbook here that I'm giving you, where on the first day, you can even jot down words. How are you going to attract your world bridger? How are you going to be able, you're setting the intention for how you are going to go through this 13-day process. And on the second day of this free workbook and journal, I'm giving you little notes on how this works. In fact, here it says attract. The first day is attract. This is the law of attraction. How are you magnetizing for your ego freedom to bring your dreams into physical form? And this workbook really gives you a step-by-step playbook of how you are moving through the spiral of getting better at making WorldBridger your friend. Being able to bridge the gap to quiet the voice in your mind and expand your consciousness. Just quickly, we talked about this before. What I love so much about Galactic Spirit is, if you'll notice the dots and bars around this spiral, you can, like I said, fill in the blanks in the holes here, or you can do it in the second page of the workbook. The dots and bars. I love the dots and bars because the dots and bars are, drum roll, binary code. The dot is 1 as a reminder. The bar is 5 in the system, traveling all around 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. Their day number 5 is empowered, all as we go through the exploration and the deepen section of our spiraling up our relationship with WorldBridger. We move into the integration phase, and ultimately we start radiating that energy out into the world to help each other. By the way, instead of me getting upset on that day, by the way, this was like 20 years ago, so I've been working with WorldBridger for a long time and trying to practicing flipping the narrative in my head when that naughty devil energy, my shadow selves, comes in. That my job, as your job, is to go into the depth of why I behave that way, why my emotion responded that way, why my thoughts came into my head that way, why I acted that way. Beta scan, BETA. And every time we spiral up, we get better and better and doing that. So when you get to day number 12, 2 dots and 2 bars, you're radiating your flipped narrative out into the world. And this is how you make a difference in the world. By you up-leveling, by you living in your higher power. When you live in your conscious, free, egoic, conscious presence, you respond in a humankind way. And in that vibration, in beaming your light that way, you make a difference by vibrating that higher minded frequency out into the world through your behaviors, your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions. So instead of getting huffy and radiating huffy energy out into the world, I could have flipped the narrative right then, right there, right in that time and space, in my mind. Bless you, dear sir. I'm not going to make all this stuff up that my shadow, my egoic mind wants me to think about inferiorities within myself, because it's not about me. Oh, let me get on with my meditative walk. Have a good day, sir. And boom, you just by the nature of living in that conscious presence, you beam that frequency out into the world. When the vibration is high on the planet, it benefits us all. That's what it means, how our world is shifting from 3D to 5D. When more of us start feeling and living in that place of the angel on our shoulder and being that bridger, we are actually bridging the gap from ourselves onto the consciousness of the planet. Breathe into that. So get your map. Every 13 days I send it. I send it to you every week on a Wednesday by email. So you'll be reminded to get it. And when we finish WorldBridger and step into Storm, I'm just going to show you this. It's a glare on it. This is the same map that I gave you, except with the concentrated days in it. And we're going to start going over this, and you can also get them every day on galacticspirit.com. We'll be going to be moving into the energy of Storm. That's the 13 days that comes up next. The one that came before was Skywalker. So we had 13 days to skywalk into the unknown. But it's really hard to, it's challenging to skywalk into the unknown unless you have ego freedom. Look how all of these energies work together. I just want to give you a little pre-tip here. Here is our WorldBridger. And by the way, here's a super cool tip. Every 8th day, 1, 2, 3, 1.2.3.4.1 bar, remember dot matrix, which dot matrix is binary code that our galactic spirit works on these 13 days. Binary code is our DNA. We're spiraling up our DNA, but every 8th day is the same of each 13-day birthright sequence is the sequence that was before, so it gets you to see how well you did. It's a wonderful reminder on how are you traveling the unknown and up-leveling the consciousness of being able to do that while you're still in WorldBridger. So going back to the point that I was making before, by the way, everyone, I'm stream of consciousness here. There's no, I have really no format. I'm just giving you what comes up as I'm guided to do it. I always come back when we do our 13-day, when we do our class in the summer. It's going to be a little bit more, it's going to be a lot more structured, so you can actually follow how the birthrights work and everything. This is for more of my senior students. However, start now. You don't have to be a senior student to understand what I'm sharing with you now. It's hard, it's challenging to give you a complete understanding in a 20-minute conversation. So one of the things that I encourage you to do is, if you don't understand something, big piece, lock and load it in your brain, because the more times, I'm repeating concepts over and over again, and lock it in your brain even if you don't understand it, because you know what's going to happen? You're going to have this aha, groovy, synchronistic moment, and and you're going to go, that's what Jami Lynn was talking about, and now I see how that applies to myself and my life. And the power of integrating all of your birthrights all at the same time. I want to go back to something I was mentioning before. When you sign up, galacticspirit.com/spiral up, every Wednesday, we send you an email. So when we move in out of WorldBridger and into Storm, the next birthright in our sequence, you'll get an email of that, of where you can get your free map, but we will have the energies and the workbook for Storm, which is the energy that's coming up, the 13 days. And Storm is all about breaking down to break through. So the next time we meet, we're going to talk about how did you use WorldBridger, the energy of the angel on my right shoulder, and how did you use WorldBridger to break down and break through, which is the next ascension, which is all about you transforming your consciousness and really having a look at how can you break down concepts in order to put them all back together to really make transformational strides as we integrate our galactic spirit into wholeness for the exclusive objective, if you want to be selfish, and that's okay, because it all starts with me, it all starts with you. We cannot be beacons of light unless we figure it out for ourselves, which is what WorldBridgers is all about. Using your beta scan, really thinking through your self-sabotage, through your behaviors, through your emotions, through your thoughts, and through your actions. So I welcome you to get your workbook, and also you'll be able to get a replay of this video and lots of free resources, which I kind of showed you that video a little bit earlier, and the links where to get them to make it super easy for you. I love making your work easy for you so you can take action, compassionate action. The energy of human, one of your birthrights, human. There's your energy of human right there, human. It's you being human to take compassionate action on fulfilling the life of your dreams. You know, I've been a mind-body spiritual teacher for, gosh, ever since college. Oh, let's do the math, 40 years. I've taught all over the world. And I have not, and I've studied Buddhism, I've studied Hinduism, I taught in India, I've taught all over the world. And I have not seen a system of transformation so powerful as the Law of Time teachings that neuroscience and quantum physics has proven that we can rewire and refire our brains. And we are just, and I'm sharing how to do that simply with one birthright a day, and I'm giving you the workbook to do it. And I can't stress this enough, that it takes effort on your part. However, the effort's so easy. It only takes a few minutes. You really don't need to know the neuroscience. You really don't need to know the quantum physics. I happen to know it because I love it. I'm the kind of person that wants to know how it works and why it works. But I can guarantee that you will get instant results through aha moments and synchronicities. Because when you pay attention to the birthright, on the birthright a day, and follow this sequence, just simply one a day, and watch the short, like 2-minute videos that I share with you every day on Galactic Spirit, you will have revelations, aha moments, synchronicities, body rushes, goosebumps, specific to what the energy is of the day, and ultimately see the cumulative influence of the 13 days during your spiral up. So instead of meditating an hour a day or doing the study or going to these days and weeks long workshops, it is really so simple. One birthright a day. Pay attention to the birthright a day, and you will, I promise. I mean, I've been working with the Galactic Spirit teachings for over 12 years, and my life keeps getting better and better. The gap, here you go. The gap between my self-sabotaging mind, the bridge between the devil on my shoulder into conscious presence, is really, really small now. I can pretty much flip the narrative as soon as a naughty behavior, an emotion, a thought, or an action comes into my consciousness, which means that I am living more in joy and happiness on the upside of WorldBridger, on the place of joy and happiness. I'm trying to find my WorldBridger image. That's all right. We'll do it right here. The upside of joy as compared to the darkness below the bridge. That's how WorldBridger works. That's how all of the birthrights work, in conjunction and unison with each other. Live in ease and grace. Bridge the gap between your external world and your internal world while working on the self-sabotage of your internal world, which most of the time is made up. It came from a trauma. It came from a behavior your mother did, your father did, your who knows who did. Some limiting belief. Some ancestral cellular memory. Step into the truth of it. And in that stepping of the truth of it, you become the WorldBridger to transcend from your world of self-sabotage into your world of egoic and karmic freedom. This is a big 13-day cycle. It's a lot of release that's in there. WorldBridger is like huge therapy, but I don't know any therapy that's better other than you having synchronistic moments and you having the self-discovery dragon, self-discovery, and finding that for yourself. So all of the birthrights are playing a big, big part of wholeness. Each is a fractal, throwing that word out today, a fractal of each other. And when you watch the videos, the 2-minute videos that I give you every day with the concentrated birthrights, each of these concentrated birthrights are fractals of each other and an integral part of WorldBridger. There is a terrible glare, but you got the point. So, beautiful galactic spirits, I am challenging you to be a world bridger for yourself. Because when you bridge your external world and your internal world that is self-sabotaging, you step in a place of conscious presence where innovation drops in, where consciousness drops in, where magic drops in, where you become the magnet of transformation and being where the law of attraction will work for you. And I think that's good. I feel like that's a wrap. So with all my love, I am Jami Lynn, your galactic spirit guide to not only evolve the galactic spirit within yourself, but to evolve the galactic spirit of our planet, which is ultimately how we are making the shift into fifth dimensional consciousness. On a personal level, you become the magnet for you to attract your desires. And in your magnetic ability, you become a magnet for others because of your radiance, because of your heart resonance, the way you are beaming your joy out into the world. So much love. The way we say namaste in Mayan. Namaste as a reminder. What does it mean? The light within me honors the light within you. The way we say that in Mayan is in Lakesh. I am another yourself. I am you. You are me. And it's in our me, in your you, we become the magnet for we. I'm another yourself. We are transformers to not only evolve ourselves and evolve the world into fifth dimensional galactic spirit. So much love and light. Get your free workbook, galacticspirit.com/spiral-up. You'll get notification of these classes that are going to be very well organized, where I'm going to practice not having my stream of consciousness, even though stream of consciousness is the way I love teaching, because you get nuggets that you didn't know you had. Plus, in my freedom of thinking, in my stream, you get nuggets that maybe I never thought of before. So that's kind of why I like to do it. But for our upcoming class at the summertime, which I'm going to ask you to look out for, it's going to be very step by step and super, super easy to follow. But you will be able to have these replays because they're full of juicy nuggets. Anyway, bright blessings, beloveds. And you are a magnificent galactic spirit, and never, ever forget that. Flick off that devil on your one shoulder and reclaim that you are the bridge of freedom and conscious presence.